Greetings guys, gals, non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. It is Wednesday, probably, hopefully, and we all know what that means. It means we are going to have a little bit of a shorter video and a little bit more fun and snappy conversation. And today I thought that the perfect way to do that would be something that we have not done for quite a while, and that is going through the r/MenWritingWomen subreddit, because it's always a time. They always say the most ridiculous and absurd shit, and I wanted to have a read and a bit of a laugh and a share. So that is what we're going to be doing today. We are going to be looking at some comics or like excerpts from books where men have been writing about women. They are either the perspective of women or they are looking at a woman, describing a woman, whatever. And they just speak like they've never seen a woman. And it's quite funny and also kind of concerning. And on the topics of books and writing, I have gotten really into reading these past couple of years. I've been really loving reading. I spend most of my time reading, and I have decided to make that everyone else's problem. And over on my second channel, Kiwi with a Q, Q-I-W-I, I have started uploading some book content. So if you are interested in sitting down and hanging out with me and just talking about some books that I love and, you know, offering recommendations, having conversations, whatever, then you can go check that out. It'll be linked up in the description. I just uploaded a video where I talked about 10 sapphic books that I read in May. This book has a really good conversation around culture and identity and casual racism. It has everything that I love in a book, and I cannot recommend it enough. I want to read it again already. I missed them. It ended and I immediately wanted more. Do not be silent. Raise your voice. Be a light in the dark. And I think that that's so good and so powerful, and I really want more teens to read this book. So if you want some sapphic book recommendations or to just have a little listen and a chat about it, do go check it out. I appreciate it. With all of that out of the way, let's have a dive into some of the absurd bullshit that men write in books. Veda unbuttoned her cotton dress and steps lightly out of her entangling underclothes. The wind caresses her burgeoning body and makes her nipples pucker. She runs her hand down across her tummy and the fuzz of maiden floss, cupping her sex, which hungers like the mouth of a raging vacuum cleaner. She wishes she could hose up the entire world. Beach, sea, sky, and stars. She would be like that storybook, Chinaman, who swallowed the ocean, filled to the bursting point with all the unbearable beauty of a summer morning. Huh? What? Hold on. Okay, so she's undressing, and now she's naked, and she cups her sex and imagines filling herself up with the entire world. I'd ask for context, but I honestly just don't think it would help, because what does this mean? She wishes her vagina was a giant vacuum cleaner. It's effectively what is being said here. For what reason? I don't know. I don't know what reason. None of this makes sense. I want to know what went on in his head before he put his pen to the paper or his fingers on the keys. Like, what thought did you have that made you be like, yes, you know what women want? The entire ocean in their vagina. Like, sure, why not, ma'am? Rosie Castro was dark, thin, exotic-looking, and sarcastic. She wore baggy cargo shorts and a t-shirt tight across her large breasts, which read, "You wish." Okay, see, here's the thing. I find it so fucking weird when people describe women as looking exotic. What the fuck does that mean, bro? What does that mean? I just don't think we should call people exotic. It feels weird to me. It'll be like set in the US and they're talking about like a Latina woman who is like born and raised in the US, but because she has like a darker complexion, she's suddenly exotic. It's similar to calling someone like a specimen. Like, you're objectifying them. You're like fetishizing and objectifying them, and it's fucking weird. That's like a word you use for like fruit and animals, not a fucking person. It's weird as hell. Stop it. Don't be calling people exotic, especially when it comes down to just because they have a different skin color. It's fucking weird. We need to stop it. Here we have a bit of a comic page, and there is a man who is like lying down. He has wings, so he's an angel type guy. I don't know what comic this is or any context to this, so excuse my descriptions. And he's like dying, and he says, "Stacy, you need to calm down." And then there's two women who are fighting. A blonde woman who is apparently an ex-prostitute, and this other woman who has like a mask and is like, you know, more buff. And the blonde ex-prostitute says, "For your information, I am wearing not much, let me tell you. You'll want to talk with your Fredericks of Hollywood ravish me please underwear suit." Is that supposed to be an insult? Cause it ain't. I like Fredericks. Fredericks is class. And the man's like, "Ladies," as opposed to your Hooters butt all hanging out of your look at my runner's butt short shorts. And then a man says, "I can't believe I'm missing this. Stacy, Paige, for heaven's sake, it's her fault. What's your problem, lady? I come in here concerned for a friend. You came here for love, princess. I know carousel, fuck's sake. I know arousal and I see pheromones, alright? And Wings here has you fogging the room up with love like some thanks gimme horny oh plenty." What the fuck did I just read? Have you ever seen two women have a conversation? Have you ever seen two women having a conversation ever in your life? Like, no one talks like this. I fucking find it so funny when you have a man who's like out of it, and then you have two women just like fighting over the top of him, and they're like out here like slut shaming each other. And like, why? What is happening? What is going on? What purpose does this serve? This is the thing, right? Like, what is the purpose of this conversation? How is this fueling your narrative? Context doesn't make it any better, because all this conversation is doing is fueling misogyny, right? The entire purpose and foundation of this entire conversation is just misogyny. So like, I need you to just remove it in general, and I also need you to just like watch two women interact just a single time. Just once. Watch two women have a conversation just one time. I dare you. Caroline Kirkgard sat down on the chair in the dead center of the crystal triangle. She sat quite still, her spine straight, held high, eyes wide open, and her long pale neck stretched upward as if longing for the kiss of some druid's knife. The black Saint Laurent cocktail frock she wore, cut low in the front and slashed surgically up the side of the pencil skirt, had the effect and purpose of an exclamation mark. It wasn't there to hide, it was there to reveal. Her milk-white body exploded from it like toothpaste on a punctured tube, oozing out in a stream of flesh. What? What? How? Okay. How do you look at someone wearing a dress? How do you look at a woman and her body and like her skin and be like, you know what you remind me of? A punctured toothpaste tube, squeezing toothpaste all over the place. And this is meant to be, you're praising her? You're like calling her sexy. The point of this is saying that she looks good, and you're using an analogy saying she looks like toothpaste that has bursted out of a tube as a way to describe how good she looks. Again, how did you get here? How did you come to this? You're trying to be interesting and coming up with like interesting similes, but instead you just end up saying the most ridiculous shit ever. Like, how? Why? What went through your head? How did this make it this far? That's such a fucking weird thing to say. I'm confused, slightly concerned, and I'm curious about what the inside of your brain looks like, and also really don't want to know. I also just don't think we need to be putting that much description into how a woman looks wearing a dress. I find it so strange that men go into such detail about what women's bodies look like when they're wearing dresses, especially when it's completely irrelevant to the story. You know what I mean? Like, it's not relevant. It's not adding anything. Just say she's wearing a nice dress. Describe what the dress looks like. You don't need to write like 2 whole paragraphs and compare her to a Massachusetts toothpaste. Oh my god. Stop it. This is a panel from a Green Arrow comic from some years ago, and it's of a girl named Mia, and she is sitting with her arms tied behind her back, wearing a tattered like crop top, really short shorts, and her legs are spread, and she's kind of like got her head lowered and is like glowering up, and she says, "Hi dad, miss me?" And everything about this is fucking, oh my god. Situating her like this and having her say, "Hi dad, miss me?" Horrifying, disgusting, disturbing, so fucking awful. And then the context to this makes it so much worse because she was a victim of child sex trafficking. So like everything about this is horrifying. Like, oh my God, maybe don't be doing this. Maybe don't be doing this shit, actually. Leave women the fuck alone in your fiction as well. Thank you. Especially like when it's being drawn, like you're putting it in a comic and like really sexualizing this idea. Stop it. Men, you're not allowed to draw comics about women anymore. All right? You've been given the chance too many times and you fucked it up too many times. So many comics that include women are so fucking horrible. There are some good ones. Yes, I shan't deny that. However, too many of them are horrible. And so I think that men aren't allowed to write anymore. Until they learn to behave, which I don't know if that's ever going to happen. But when men behave, then maybe we can discuss. But right now, it's too much misogyny in the worst way. So I'm gonna have to ask you all to stop and put the pens down for a bit. All right? Okay. It was as though a deed of conveyance of her narrow loins had been drawn and sealed. I was making my first entry as the freeholder of a property I would enjoy and develop at leisure. You had so many options, so many ways to describe having sex with someone for the first time, and the one you decided on was to call her your property. The thing you decided on to say how excited and happy you were to be having sex with this woman is that she is your property and you were excited to own her. Sir? Oh my God. Like, bro. It's so fascinating purely because I have to question how aware of it they are. Like, are they aware of what they're saying, or is the misogyny just so ingrained in them they don't even realize how fucked up and problematic it is? Or is it both? Do they know and they just don't care because the misogyny is so ingrained in them? These are the questions that I have. So many people say and do things, and it's so easy to just be like, to like brush it off and go, that's normal. But the reason we think it's normal is just because it's been so normalized. Like, I feel like so many men just say shit about women and don't even realize how problematic it is just because they've been raised being told that that's a normal thing to say and do and act, and no one's ever called them out. So here I am calling you out, telling you, stop it. Stop it. Oh my God. Girls are simply wonderful. Just to stand on a corner and watch them go past is delightful. They don't walk, at least not the way we do when we walk. I don't know how to describe it, but it's much more complex and utterly delightful. They don't move just their feet. Everything moves and in different directions, and all of it graceful. I'm gonna need a visual aid for this, because what do you mean everything moves in different directions? They don't move their feet, they move. Everything moves in different directions. What are you talking about? Firstly, implying that men move only their feet is hilarious because what about your legs and your arms? And then women, everything moves in different directions? What? Can you explain that more? I know just before I said you need to explain less. You're giving me too many words and too much detail and explanation. But in this case, I really would like you to explain more. Please tell me how women walk and what it means by everything moving in a different direction, because I'm really struggling to understand what the fuck you're talking about right now. I'm trying to envision it, but I can't. Are we walking like our legs going out like just walking like this, and we have to do this while hair moves, but it's got to move in different directions. So I guess, yeah, okay, there we go, like this, and then our legs are like going out on either side with this, but you've got to do, or wait, maybe our heads have to go back and forwards and our arms go this way, and then our legs do the opposite, and then our hips and waist, you know, I don't know. Trying to figure it out, and also figure out how any of that could be graceful, because it sounds like it's straight out of a horror movie. It sounds actually like a really good way to stop men from staring at you and being creepy. Just start walking with everything moving in a different direction, and I feel like men would leave you alone because you would look terrifying. And with that, I think I'm going to end the video here. I hope that you did enjoy. I always have fun doing these. Please let me know down in the comments what you would like to see from me next, and I would love to do it. A huge thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons: Arsene, Stella, Bay the Trucker, Chastity, Prismatic Petey, Sushi, M.A. Ping the Games, Phil the Duck, Jessie, River, Queen Glimmer, Ella, Lady Nutbar, Mr. Noodle, Radsack, Knitting Menace, Samuel, Chris, Ellie, Alexis, and Bobby. I love and appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for joining. If anyone else would like to become a patron, you go to patreon.com/savvycat or click the link in the description. For only £1 a month, you get videos 1 to 5 days early and with no ads for those days. And then for £3 and up, you get a whole bunch of other stuff too. So if you want to check that out, I appreciate it greatly. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah.